On the Implicit show, we got the Dube brothers in the house. I hope you guys are excited about this one. We're going to talk about how to not hate.
Yay.
Tapping into the true potential of the human spirit. This is Humanity Empowered. This is the Implicit Show.
What up, and welcome to the Implicit Show. My name is Brent Dube, and who are you, man?
My name is Cameron.
Dube. This is my brother. You guys know him, I'm sure. He's been on a few episodes. Actually, this is your second episode on the Implicit Show itself, right?
Yay, Wait, how long have you been doing this show for?
Been doing this show for like 3 or 4 months, just like almost 4 months.
Cool.
Yeah, it feels good. This is episode 64. It's episode 64 of the Implicit Show. And you guys probably know Cameron because back, what was it, like 4 months ago or 5 months ago, before we changed everything over to the Implicit Show, me and Cameron were doing a podcast called Leading Life. And Leading Life, yeah, it was basically about what it sounds like, how you could lead your life. And so we talked about personal development topics. We had guests on the show. It was super fun. And we kind of just engaged in conversation.
It was a good time.
Yeah, so how have you been since, man?
Since, I've been very good. I've been learning a lot. I noticed that the reason I stopped doing a lot of the podcasts is because I wanted to slow down and learn, because I'm not too young, but I'm very young, and I'm more in the mood to learn than I am to teach right now. You know what I mean? And that's why I just haven't been doing so many podcasts.
Yeah, for sure, man. I could totally understand. Sometimes I get on the show and I'm like, man, what am I going to talk about today? Like, I don't even know, right? Because I've got so many things going on in my life. But for me, I think this is a great way to hold myself accountable to learn, you know, because if I gotta put on a show every day of the week, I better learn. So, but man, you've been doing, other than that, you've been doing videos. I know you're working on a big project. You care to talk about that a little bit? Or
I've been writing a script. I've been writing an album of music. I've been doing YouTube, just staying creative basically as much as I can. And other than that, like, learning so much always.
Good, man.
And also implementing new habits, you know, trying different meditations, yoga. Like, Elaine gave me like a really awesome book, like a yoga book or something. It's about breath and stuff like that. Such a good read, man. Thank you again. I messaged her personally about it, but I've been reading that a lot, reading all kinds of books. That's basically it. Just, you know,
just learning, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I asked you today. I was like, man, you want to be on the show? What do you want to talk about? And what'd you come up with, man?
I want to talk about hate and love and forgiveness and judgment and criticisms, because I feel like people don't realize how big of a part it is in your life, how much it's actually affecting your life, and how much we actually do it subconsciously.
It's true. You ever kind of like notice how you're just going throughout your day and you're just like, oh, I hate this, or oh, I hate that, or oh, I hate that person, I hate that, right? And you don't even really notice, I think, how many times you end up saying like, oh, I hate this, I hate that. And even those little, remarks of hate, they're not pointless. They have an effect on your life.
They have an energy behind it, and it doesn't matter what the energy is, whether it's positive or negative. Like, your body knows what it is. You know what I mean? When it hears negative remarks, it takes in that hate, that negativity, whatever, and it affects everything. You can get sick from it. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And it doesn't always need to be a person either. Like you said, when you're just complaining about something, like, oh, I hate this sink, it never like, the water just stays in there and it doesn't go down. Like, I'm just pissed, like, this was ruining my day.
I hate this coffee.
Yeah.
It's too much sugar.
And so I do want to talk about why we say things like that and why it feels good to complain. It actually feels really good for us in the moment to just complain about something.
Cool. So the takeaway, what are the listeners going to be able to take away by the end of this episode?
By the end of this episode, I feel like you guys are going to feel a lot lighter emotionally and even physically. You might just get more energy. I don't know, because it's something that we all do, and it takes so much time out of our lives. It sucks so much energy out of our lives. And I feel like by the end of this episode, you're going to feel free for sure. And people are probably going to notice how, like, accepting of a person you are, you know? So.
Cool. Well, let's get right into it, man. What kind of ideas did you write down here?
Okay. First of all, I want to talk about why people hate and why people forgive and why people would complain, why people would judge. And I wrote down a bunch of stuff on this like ripped piece of paper here. Okay, first of all, the only reason a person is the person they are is like their upbringing, right? The way they were raised and, everything that happened to them up to this point. How their parents acted, their environment, the habits they have,
The country they're
the
born
food
in.
they eat, the culture, the culture they
and-
live in, all that stuff, man. And so, literally, if you were born in the same position, you would be the same person, technically.
Mhm.
Rarely does biology affect who we are that much, like our personality that much.
So what you're saying, like, if I were to put myself in somebody else's shoes and say, okay, I grew up, I was born in the same family and grew up with the same experiences, everything. If
Same
I
siblings,
were
like
if I were me in their position, I would literally be the same person because of those experiences that created them, right?
There's probably tiny little things that would change, but most of the time, like, guys, most of the time, everybody is born a good person, like an empathetic person. And the reason I say this is because, like, I mean, there are like a very small percentage of people who are born psychopaths. Like, there's something in their brain that is just messed up. But most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're born a normal human being, and your life shapes you and shapes who you are, right?
Mhm.
And so
it's in our being, really.
exactly. And the best example of this is you watch America's Funniest Home Videos, and you look at people get hurt, and you're just like, oh. Little things like that. Or you're watching a TV show and this person is feeling bad and you feel bad for them. Forrest Gump. If you didn't cry at the end of Forrest Gump, then you're a psychopath. I'm joking, but like that's what I mean. We're all born to care about others. Even animals do the same thing. Like, you'll see, like, I don't know, this is an example, like a elephant saving a cat out of a tree or something. Like, there's little things like that I've seen in the wild or something, like on YouTube. And we're born to be empathetic, and our environment could completely destroy that and make us just so hateful or so judgmental or whatever. And that's what you need to realize, is that the reason people do this is because of their experiences. Like, and it's also because of, and Tony Robbins would argue with me, that's why I'm going to say this, is the reason people act like this is not because of their experiences, but because of the meaning that they gave to those experiences. Because you look at a broken home, right? And you're like, yeah, those rapists, those pedophiles, those murderers, those like awful human beings come from broken homes. But at the same time, like Oprah and Tony Robbins and all these amazing people came from broken homes, right? So what conclusion can you give but the fact that Tony Robbins and Oprah gave a completely different meaning to their broken homes than, a rapist, murderer, pedophile, whatever.
So what is it about our environment? So like what you're saying, and I totally get it, when we're born into a home with a certain amount of habits, these guys, it's a certain environment. They have certain conversations at home, maybe it's whether it's a great home or a broken home, right? There's certain experiences that you go through, but we each create different meanings. But how does that become who we are, right? Just because we're born in that home, right? Is it like something to do with conditioning and consistency and like being in the same place every day?
Absolutely, yeah. It's environment, and like, I'm used to this by now, so I'm desensitized, that kind of thing. Like there was a quote in Think and Grow Rich where it was like, you grow up in a crime neighborhood, and at first you hate it, you abhor the crime, you like really don't like it, and then you just tolerate it, and then you start to like become it. You start to embody the crime, and then you yourself, you're robbing places and stabbing people, whatever it is,
because it's just the way it is. It's just what people do here, right?
Exactly. And it could also be like stuff you've seen on TV, stuff like you've been told by other people, your friends, what they've said, what their parents have said, anybody you've ever met. Like, you'd be surprised at like how much someone else has probably changed your life just by one conversation, and something clicked subconsciously, and all of a sudden you made a different decision, and that just led on to a whole new, destiny, as Tony Robbins would say. And so,
especially early on in your life, right?
Especially, yeah.
Because every little experience you've got, it's like you've got this long timeline that you call your life, and if things happen here, right, it starts to might not see the difference until much later when it compounds, up or down, and it changes. But it takes time, right?
And the crazy thing to think about is like when you turn 2 years old, like you're gaining another 50% of what your life was, you know what I mean? And then when you turn 5 years old, it's like that's huge when you're a kid. When you're turning from like 4 to 5, like like that's a big leap for you, right? And so that's why you learn so much when you're a kid, is because like the world is all new and it's like fresh and like everything's there, and it's like this is huge. Yeah. And that's why, you know, if a 10-year-old was to like get married to a 5-year-old, that'd be messed up. Or a 20-year-old was to get married to a 9-year-old, you're like, what the heck? But, you know, a 49-year-old getting married to a 39-year-old, not a big deal.
No, it's because time means something differently at different ages, at different points in your life, right?
Absolutely. So that's what I mean. All I have to say, like, all you have to take away from that is just that if you were in their position, you would have done the same thing. That's all it is. And like, you don't know what kind of stress they're going after. And like the also another thing is like everybody has the same needs. Every human being has the same human needs. So we all have just different ways of meeting them. Right? It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means like, you know, anybody, if they're under stress, we act out in ways that like we can't even understand. We're just trying to get rid of stress. We're just trying to meet our needs, do what we can to feel better. Whether it's hating somebody, hurting someone, whatever it is, you're just trying your best to feel comfortable. That's what everybody's doing.
Yeah, even for example, you know, I need sorry, I just got distracted by a comment from Justin. He says, wow, the band's back together. Look at that. Like you're saying, so we're all human beings, we all have the same needs. So if you have a need for significance, for example, right, well, we all as human beings, we have a need to feel needed, we have a need for significance, we have a need to feel important, or like our lives mean something, we have a need for purpose. And oftentimes, you know, if your needs not getting met, doing positive things, or, you know, loving others or having good relationships, or if we're using the people analogy, then your needs are going to get met hating people.
Or
right?
annoying people.
I hate
even.
this person. I hate this person. I'm going to ruin their lives. Yeah. Then they'll know I'm important. Then they'll know I'm significant because, you know, I made their lives a living hell. Right. And so it's just another way of feeling significant. Another, if you want to flip it the other way, you know, I'm going to love that person so much. I'm going to give I'm going to contribute to that person so much. I'm going to show them so much love that, you know, I'll feel so important. I'll feel so significant and needed. And so we all have the same needs, but we meet them differently. And love and hate, it's just a different vehicle. And you could use hate to meet your needs, sure. But this whole episode is how to not hate, right? Because as we said at the beginning, hate just drags you down.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and like even annoying people, like kids would press people's buttons just to like get some attention. Doesn't even matter. They just like annoy their parents until like they finally get attention. Like that Family Guy, like mom, it's like Stewie in the bed, just trying to get attention. He doesn't care. Like he's just trying to annoy him.
We did that all the time as kids.
Yeah. And so, so just realize that everybody's just trying to meet their needs. We're all human beings, and it's tough being a human. God damn, is it ever tough being a human being? Like seriously, it's not easy. We're high standard creatures. Like cats can just lay down and like chill on a keyboard. Like it doesn't even matter where they are. They're just like zen. But human beings, we just have such high standards. I think it's also like the society we grow up in. It's like whatever, but it's not easy for anybody. And that's why we need to have empathy for other people and just realize what they're going through. So my next one is forgiveness. Now this one was like tough for me at first. I was doing a meditation, 6-phase meditation by the CEO of Mind Valley. And basically one of the phases was forgiveness. And first off, he just says, all right, place somebody in front of you, like visualize them. You're sitting there with your eyes closed. And he says, visualize someone in front of you who you have a negative charge with. Maybe somebody who pissed you off, or somebody who's done something bad to you, or who's hurt you, or just anybody who rubbed you the wrong way. Put them in front of you and say sorry. And like that right there is like, you're sitting there and you're like, I just put somebody I hate in front of me. You're asking me to say sorry? Like, I want to throat punch this person. Like, you want me to say sorry, right? And it's like, it's the equivalent of like two kids on the playground who are fighting. And it's like, all right, now say sorry. And you're just like, I don't want to. He's an asshole. I don't want to say sorry, right? And you're put in that position. But once you finally actually apologize, once you become the bigger person and you're like, look, man, I'm sorry for any wrong I've done to you. You gain like a higher level of and you just get a little more aware of who you are and what hate is and all that stuff. And once you do it like 20 times, you'll begin to rewire your brain to the point where you're automatically like, sorry, dude, or you're automatically just forgiving others and not really thinking of others in a negative way.
That's the thing that I learned about forgiveness is like you hating somebody, it doesn't really affect that other person at all, right? So if I hate you, Cam, that's my hate. That's not your hate, right? Unless you say, okay, I'm going to accept your hate, and then you hold on to the hate. But if I hate you, right, that's your hate.
Mm-hmm.
So me forgiving you doesn't really have as much to do with you as it does have to do with me, right? I'm the one who gets the most out of it, because by forgiving you, I finally get to let go of that hate. I finally get to let go of my shoulders and just be like, oh, it's okay. Like everything's going to be all right. I don't have to hold on to this resentment anymore, this resistance. And so that's why it's so important. Forgiveness, it's huge. That's why they talk about it all the time in all religions, in all cultures, in all, forgiveness, man. You got to forgive your fellow bro.
Absolutely. And I feel like the guy who did the meditation, he put say sorry in front of it, like at the beginning, on purpose. Like I feel like he did that because it's good to realize that you're not perfect before you forgive someone else. Because you could just sit there all high and mighty and say, all right, I forgive you. But it's one thing to just forgive somebody, and it's another thing to actually just say sorry to someone who you didn't even do anything wrong half the time. Half the time, those who you have a problem with, it's like they did something wrong. But if you were the guy to man up and say sorry, then it's a whole nother thing. And once you finally are there to say sorry, once you're finally there to forgive them, everything's all positive and happy, and you can hug and like whatever, you make amends. So I encourage you guys to like do this exercise at least once a day. Like I don't know how many people you hate, but if it's like a lot, then you're gonna have to like do it probably multiple times a day. Put them in front of you and say sorry first.
Yeah.
Even if you did nothing wrong.
I would add, you could even, if you catch yourself throughout the day saying, oh, I hate this, or I hate that, or, screw this, screw that. Catch yourself saying it, and then go back and say, you know what? Maybe I don't hate that. I love that. Or I don't hate that. I love the opposite of that. Or, I forgive this thing, or I forgive this person, or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Catch yourself in those moments where you're saying, oh, I hate this, or I hate that. Like it's not doing you any good, right? It might feel good to complain. It might feel good to get it to vent, to get that off your chest and say, oh, I hate this. I hate that. This sucks. Screw this, screw that. But it's not really doing you any good at the end of the day. And this whole life, this whole show, it's about becoming your greatest version, doing the best you can, fulfilling your human potential. And hate's not going to help you do that.
So that's what I want to talk about also, is like complaining. The reason we complain, or the reason we hate others also, another good reason is, I guess, two more things. One is when you hate something or criticize something or like complain about something, instantly there's a presupposition that you're right and they're wrong. You're right and this sink that won't go down is wrong. You're right and this toilet that won't flush is wrong. You're right and the ceiling that you keep hitting your head on is wrong. And all of a sudden, you feel a little bit better. You're like, yeah, I'm right. That's good. It's an ego high. It's a quick little fix of, I'm good. I'm separate from this. I feel better. I'm high and mighty and I'm right and this is wrong. You complain about Trump. Oh, I'm right. Trump's wrong. You complain about all the politics. Like, it's unbelievable how many people actually just complain about something they have no control over. You complain about the Toronto Maple Leafs not winning a cup in like 50 years.
I can't believe
you're right. They're wrong.
Shot. He should have gone that way. He should have gone around the net, Cam. Can't believe he didn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm right, and
you sitting on your couch with a box of ribs and like a beer,
tell me,
watching hockey. You're
right.
So right.
Sidney Crosby is wrong.
That's what I mean. Little things like that, and all of a sudden you feel better. And it's even better when like you could have a complaining buddy like me and this guy can like watch hockey and just like talk about how shitty the team is. Wow, dude, this team sucks ass.
Ovechkin, man, get out of here.
Yeah,
get
I
out,
agree,
buddy.
He's awful at the hockey.
Come on now. Hey.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, see you, Julie. Goodbye.
Julie's comment. Julie's comment says, "Be positive, no hate. Gotta Gotta go teach. See y'all. We'll check in. That's Julie's talk, man.
Yeah.
Dot, 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 dot.
So absolutely, just realize that, and that's just a quick fix, you know? It's like once there's that high of like, yeah, I'm right, they're wrong, you're going to go even deeper into insecurity. You're going to go even deeper into like not loving yourself or not enjoying who you are, and you'll be complaining even more, and then it'll just spiral into complaining, and it's unbelievable. And so, yeah, realize that that's one of the biggest reasons why people would complain. If you're having an awful day and you're going out to dinner, I've seen this happen with somebody I went to dinner with, like family dinner or whatever, I don't know. But you know, they're not having a good day. They get to dinner, they order their food, and it's probably delicious. But they sit there and they're like, "Yeah, waiter, this is awful. You did a shitty job. I want a different item on the menu." And I feel like, dude, if you would have had a good day, you would have been like face deep in that bowl of food. You know what I mean? You would have enjoyed the heck out of that food.
Has
So
it been okay?
yeah, that's what I mean. It's different. So like when you feel bad, notice how much you're complaining about things. And when you're feeling good, notice how much you love things. And yeah, so that's another thing about complaints, and that brings on a lot of bad energy also. So 1 second here.
1 second. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun,
So I just want to leave with focus on yourself. That's a big one. Just focus on yourself and those who you love and those who are nice to you. And if you meet somebody who's automatically a dick, like love unconditionally, man, because you do the same thing if you were in their position, or if you had the day that they just had. You know,
And
you never know.
Realize if that person's showing you hate, like, don't get pissed off at them. Don't hate them back. Feel bad for them, man. Because to hold on to hate sucks, man. To be that guy who hates, like, even like yesterday, I was in here, or earlier in the week, we were in here doing this show. And I was doing a podcast with Julie. We were doing a Music Monday. We were just hanging out, talking about songwriting and playing music. And we're in the comment section. Somebody on Twitch said, "Oh, you guys suck." Says, "You guys stop. You're hurting my ears. This is so bad." Right? And we were just jamming. We were just having a good time. We don't suck. We know we've been doing this for years. We're confident in our ability. But this guy, out of nowhere, he took the time out of his day to go hate other people on the internet. Right? He didn't know who we are. He didn't really know anything. He just come out of nowhere and started hating us. Right? And then he started posting all these spam comments like, "Oh, I hate this," and then all these stupid emojis and stuff. Right? And it was like, I didn't get upset. I didn't say, "Oh, that person hates me. Like, ow, this really hurts." I said, "Wow, like that guy's got to be going through some shit. That guy's got to be going through something," because I would never go on the internet and do that. I'm a loving person. I would never go on the internet and go and hate people for no reason. I'd never do that in real life. Like, why would I spend my time and energy doing that?
That would make me feel bad, like if I did that.
Yeah. So when people are showing you hate, when people are complaining, when people are upset at you or whatever, realize it's way more to do with them than it has anything to do with you. And so if you can't get too caught up on what other people are feeling or how other people are behaving or reacting, because ultimately you can't control that. And that's why it comes back to focusing on you, right? You can't control other people's interpretation of you or what you're doing or any of that stuff, but you can ultimately control your interpretation.
Yeah, absolutely. And short way of saying that is like, haters gonna hate,
Haters
and that just means like you can't control it. Haters are gonna hate. Like, what can you do?
Mm-hmm.
You can't please everyone. And if you tried, you'd be living a stressful life.
It is stressful, man. You ever try to please everybody? I have. It sucks.
It's not easy.
It sucks.
It's the equivalent of like trying to light 500 fires in a field. 500 different fire pits. You got to run around and keep every fire going on a rainy day.
Yeah, man.
That's trying to please everybody.
Please yourself first. You know what I've learned is if you please yourself, everybody else around you will be more pleased, because all of a sudden they're dealing with a person who is pleased with themselves, right? Like, you probably love this too. When you walk into a room or a party full of strangers, or a get together, an event full of people you don't know, but then there's like one guy or one girl in that room who's just got a huge smile on their face. They're just having a good time. They've got this energy about them, and like you talk to them and it feels like you've known them forever just because they've got this loving, positive energy about them, right?
That's huge, dude, because like I remember we played a gig at the Jaspa,
Mm-hmm.
and that dude, I don't know his name, but like he looks like the lead guy in Sopranos. But he's so nice. And like the second I met him, he was just smiling and like being all happy and stuff. And he gave me water, and I was just like, "Oh, thank you, man." He's just such a great guy, and like that's a person I'd hang out with. You know what I mean? Somebody like Infinite Waters. The second you turn on the video, 10 seconds in, you know what kind of person this guy is.
It's
Like,
based on
peace.
energy, right? And that's not language. That's not body language even. That's something different. It's something else. They could tell. As human beings, you know, we have senses. I truly believe we have senses. Like I could sense how Cam's feeling. I don't even need to look at him or see his body language. I mean, that helps, right? But you know, there's an energy in a room. You know when you walk into a room,
subconscious.
Exactly. You know when you walk into a room and things are tense, right? You have no reason to believe things are tense. Nobody's said anything. Nobody's done anything out of the ordinary, but you just feel like there's a tension in the room, right? Or on the opposite end, you walk into a room and all of a sudden you just feel like, yeah, like I'm ready for this, man. This is amazing. It's because, you know, good energy, no hate, lots of love. Lots of love. So Cam, you got any last words regarding how to let go of hate, man?
So do that exercise, forgive others. Like do a 5-minute meditation where you just throw somebody in front of you that you hate or they hate you or whatever, and apologize for any wrong you've done to them. Even if you haven't done anything, just say sorry anyways. Swallow your pride, because pride comes from ego anyways, and the ego is not you, man. And then forgive them. Even if they, like, I don't know, killed your dog or something. I don't know what they did. It could be anything. Just forgive them, because you would have done the same exact thing. You would have done the same thing. Seriously. And it's
you don't know what they're doing. You don't know what their life's about.
You don't know what they're feeling.
What they're thinking.
Yeah, and like
and
when
sorry, you go ahead.
When somebody does something bad to you, you automatically think, oh, they're a bad person. When you do something bad to someone else, you automatically think, well, this happened, so I had to do this.
Yeah, it was only this one time. It's this one circumstance.
For you, it's circumstance. For them, it's character. They're an awful person, but you, I had a bad day, so like, I'm okay with doing this or whatever. And that's what you need to realize, that the world doesn't revolve around you. At the end of the day, like, everybody's thinking of themselves. Like, somebody might judge you and you might feel bad about that, but like, think about it. When they go to sleep at night, or when they're brushing their teeth before bed, they're looking in the mirror. They're not thinking of you. They're not like that guy on the street with like a funny face. Fuck that guy. You know, like, no, they don't care, man. They're thinking about themselves.
It comes back down to, you know, when we see something in other people that we don't like, when we see hate in other people, we see whatever in other people, it usually, in fact, always has more to do with us than it has to do with them, right? The things that we resist in other people, it's usually something we resist in ourselves. So if we're going to judge others, we're really just judging ourselves. And the only one judging you at the end of the day is yourself. And we're all judging ourselves. We're all our toughest critic. You know, we're all so tough on ourselves. So like, don't worry about any of that hate, man. Just do what you got to do. Do what your purpose is here. Do what you love, man. And ultimately it's, look, man, just have a good time. It's life. Don't let the hate.
Good.
Anyways, this has been fun, man. It's good to get you back on the show after a while. Talk about some stuff. Where do you have anything you want to tell the people where they could find you if they want to connect with what you're doing?
Trying to think here. Yeah, just Cam Moron 123 on Snapchat. Hit me
At
up.
Cam Moron 123 on Snapchat.
I rarely use Facebook anymore, mostly because there's just so many notifications, and it's like, like there's too many. You're invited to this, or this
Facebook,
person shared this, and it's like, dude, I like Snapchat, 'cause then you can directly contact me.
So Snapchat, my bro Cam.
Cam Moron 123 CAMORON 123. And if you don't have Snapchat, I mean, like, get Snapchat, man. Let me see your beautiful face.
And you can find me on everything, basically, at Bren Dube, BRENDUBE, with the accent aigu, because it's Francais. And
I don't think they know what that means. I don't think they're going to even try to put that in their thing.
yeah, I tried. That's all that matters.
Okay, that's good.
So you could also support us at patreon.com/implicit and get all sorts of cool stuff there, man. We got books, we got audios, we got programs, we've got events coming up. We can get candy. You guys let us know. Whatever you want, man, we'll take care of you.
Candy.
We're all about spreading the love. Candy. Boom. Blah, blah, blah. I want bananas. Bananas now. All right, bro. See the peace sign.